Hey, look what I got here. And here you can see we've stepped it up just a little from the Tupperware. This is awesome. This whole thing folds down and fits inside that little bag right there. Pop-up playpen for small pets. Perfect, perfect for the chicks. Right, and then this has, you can zip this up. There's a whole top to close the circle up. That's kind of nice. And there's a little door here you can open, let things run in and out. Reach in and out that way too if you want. Very, very cool. And of course I got the plastic food container over here. And of course the stainless steel water container. And then just a few little things, keep them busy. You can see that there's a little perch. It's just a little stand, tipped it sideways. I like to bounce up on that. And then the mirror. They love the mirror. I mean, they just love it. They'll all get over to that mirror and look at themselves, and they know that it's themselves. And it's weird, they look at themselves, if they see a speck of dirt or something on them in the mirror, they know it doesn't belong there, they'll pick it off. So there you go, and they're getting a little bigger. They're only, this is just 3 days later, 3 days after we got them. You can already see how much bigger they gotten. And they definitely eat a lot. That's all they do. They eat, they sleep, and they, how beautiful I am. Look at me. Look at me. I am wonderful. Oh. Hey, guess what today is? It's Independence Day. You guys are getting out of the playpen and going outside, finally. 6 weeks old. This one's ready to go. Alright, these guys are already so trained, we could probably just get them to go in the box all by themselves. Come on up, who's coming up? There's number one, come up here. Come on, come on. There you go. Yoink. Oh. Ready? Oh, go get him. Get him. Who wants some? Come on. Who wants them? Oh, next. No treat for you. Chill out. Come on, who wants some? Look at it all. Oh yeah, I got you now. You want the last of it? Oh, come on, come and get it. Come and get it. Over here. Come on. Mmm. That was easy. Come on, chicken. Come on. Get it. Come on. Watch what happens the second my chickens know I'm anywhere nearby. They try to be quiet, but they can see me through the vent. Oh, 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 they know, they know. They know. What's up, ladies? Excuse me, but we're gonna have to talk about you for a minute here. So this is the little coop I built. Ooh, you hear the thunder? It's okay, my chickens are well protected. So it's pretty portable. Put it up, take it down at my leisure. And let me show you around. I have an 8-foot tent and a 6.5-foot tent, and I did that so I could keep space here between the coop and my little greenhouse. So we have a magnetic screen on the front here, and the rest of it is just wrapped up in, you can hardly see it, but there is a mesh there all the way around. Get in on that. You can see it up against the white. See that? It's a mesh all the way around. That is not so much to keep predators out as it is to simply keep the chicks in. And it works. All right, and of course it's outlined so that the yard guys don't come and whip my netting apart. And I have one removable piece. That's so I can bring in a wheelbarrow if I want. Right there. So you just peel it open. Hello. And I always check, make sure it closes right up, which it does. So at the heart of my little coop setup, my little poop setup, is this actual coop. Now this is what it's all about. This is their home. When they first came out, 6 weeks old, I opened this little door up and I just put them in there, and I left them in there for a little while overnight, let them get used to it, and then I lured them out the next day and got them used to the caged in part. Now that's its own little coop in there, you see, and they can run around. This holds up to 6 chickens, they say. Honestly, 6 good-sized chickens, that'd be kind of crowded, but for these 4, this coop alone is enough. And I gotta tell you, this is a very solid coop. It's really nice. It's got the asphalt roofing on it. It's really solid built. It's called, what is it called? Producer's Pride Defender, I believe it's called. And what I did is I not only put this up on its own base, I leveled all of this out, okay, but underneath this whole thing is wire just like this. Nice heavy duty mesh wire, and it's underneath the entire thing. It's attached to these beams, and it actually covers all the way out to here. So nothing that gets in here is going to be able to get in this cage. It's not going to be able to dig under. You're not going to be able to get in. All right, so they're protected in there very well. What I can do is I like to pop that door open in the morning, but I don't have to. They could live perfectly fine inside this setup. All right, but my issue was that every morning I have to come out and open the door on this thing, the coop door, to let them out. and I didn't like that. So I added a little thing, you see that? And I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let me just show you around the rest of the coop. Open this back up for them. Now see this door that I'm opening now, that's optional. Like if I wanted to go away for 3 days, I do not have to open this part of the coop up, and they'd be perfectly safe from predators in here. But when I am around, I like to open up that door. Let the fire truck go by. I like to open the door and let them out into this little area that I have created for them. All right, so in here they can run around, do a little hen scratching. Now in here it's all sand. In here it's all sand, okay? Back here, this is an ash pit. I throw ash and a mixture of ash and DE. The pool filter sand, right? Now this here with the gravel in it, that's just drainage for when this comes off, so I don't have mud. It comes off of that when it's not covered. That'll be like when I take these covers down. And the rest, just what drips off the top of this comes down and lands right down in that. Same at the front. Both of these tents where they drain straight down, they'll drain into this little pit full of rocks, and it just doesn't splash all over the place. Hey buddy, what's happening? All right, in here it's all sand. They love it. They hen scratch around, and I'll tell you what, there is no smell whatsoever coming out of here. No farm smell. I don't have to do a ton of maintenance, but I am going to show you how I do the maintenance and why I set it up this way, and changes that I'll make later on. You can see I leveled it all out. Nice little retaining wall. It's not going anywhere. Just scrap brick. All right, nothing's getting in it. All the way around. All right, now something got into this part of the cage, so be it. That's fine. They're safe in there. And we don't have any large predators. We do have some nighttime predators, which is why they get locked in their steel cage at night. And I'll also be taking care of those predators. That's a whole nother video. So cleaning, the reason I go with sand, and I'm going with sand, and remember, I'm a new chicken owner, but I'm well studied in most things I do. I'm sure that the veteran chicken owners are looking at something I'm doing and going, what the hell, that's wrong and that's wrong. But this is working for me. I'm in a tight environment. I'm in an urban environment. I don't want noise. I don't want smell. I don't want a big, to do. So this is my setup. Now the reason I go with sand is the easy clean. This is literally like cleaning a litter box. I'll show you. I have 3 different tools that I use to clean up in here. Let me show you what they are. All right, so I'm down here in their little sand pit now. See some of their little toys. I haven't quite got them trained on the xylophone yet, but I will. I'll have them trained on xylophone and drums, I hope. But this is the first tool. It's basically just a little plastic pitchfork, essentially. Oh, you guys are so curious, aren't you? All right, but as you can see, I have simply wire tied on a mesh, a small mesh. All right, so that's my first and foremost. I use that and I go over the basic property here. All right, I go over the whole thing, and I'm doing this with one hand just to kind of, right? Yeah, I know, see? Why you shouldn't be around. All right, shake it out. And all that's going to be left is things that you didn't want in there. Off they go into my little compost bucket. All right, that's how I can get these rocks picked up, and when all said and done, this is fun with one hand on wet sand. By the way, the sand is wet because I wet it down. Yesterday it was 100 degrees out. And so one way I've learned to keep these chickens cool is to, you don't spray your chickens, but you can wet the ground down and let it evaporate, come run around in it, and it cools them down. They love it. I'll get my rocks back where they go. All right, so that's pretty simple. You get the idea. There's the big one. So I'll do all this with that, right, first. Then I'll go in here and I'll do the same thing with the big tool because it's got good reach. And I'll reach to the back and I'll pull all this stuff out, but I'll just pull it all and sift through it and pull a lot of the sand here towards me, basically in a big pile here. All right, and then we'll open this up. And you can see they pretty much destroyed that over the last couple of days. All right, so again, I'll pop the water out of here, and I'll go through this. Now this is a pull-out tray, so I can pull that out if I want to. I don't have to. But this is where my other two tools come in right here. All right, so I got a long-handled sifter, and this can come apart and become a shorter handled one. And then I got this more fine one, and that's what I like to use inside their actual coop. I'll show you right now how easy that is. All right, this is kind of gross for TV, but I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Get in there and just scoop that stuff up. All right, there's your sand going out, and there's all the stuff you don't want in your coop going into your compost. All right, it means that simple, you guys. Look it, done. And it's not a huge area. All right, so what I like to do again is I'll just reach back there with the longer one, like so, and I like to just grab everything. I like to just reach all the way back with the long one, grab everything, bring it forward. And I'm not going to do the whole thing for you here, but I'll just show you. I bring all the dirt where I can reach it. I don't even need to pull the tray out if I don't want to, but you can. All right, bring dirt up near you. You can sift it first with this if you want, but I like to just go with the little guy. And there you go. Sift it right through. All right, keeping all your goodies, getting rid of the nasties. Simple. Scoop it up. Oh, satisfying video. Right? And then the pile of clean sand that I leave behind is used kind of like a backstop for me to scoop up against, and so I don't have to spread it around right now. Just drop it all in one spot. Look at that. All right, and we're all said and done, you're gonna end up with some really clean sand in here in just a few minutes. Doesn't take long at all. This is a lot easier than pulling out tons and tons of hay or chips or whatnot every week. All right, now some people use the layering method, I've learned, and the layering method is to use actual decomposing material such as wood chips. Okay, so what you would do is you throw wood chips in here, and as they get it all poopy and whatnot, rather than pull it out, you just flip it over, stir it up, and then cover it over. So when all said and done, you know, by the time you change it once every 6 months or a year, you know, you got a big deep pile of layers of stuff. It is a good method, believe it or not. The stink stays down, and what happens is you get kind of it starts to chicken. So what happens is it starts to decompose on the bottom, and the chickens like it. They scratch through there, and they like to get the worms and things that end up in that bottom layer, and then you just keep flipping that dirty stuff over, covering it with new. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that all year until winter time comes. And that time, and winter time comes, this ain't going to matter. They're not going to run around out here. All right, they're going to pretty much be cage bound for the winter. So I'm going to, at that point, go with probably around October, mid to end of October. I'm going to switch it over, and I'm going to go with a layering method, okay, with chips. And what's going to happen is, as I flip that and it starts to decompose, it's going to help and create heat inside this coop. That's the only place I want to use it, right in here. All right, and that's going to keep them warmer in there throughout the winter. Chickens do all right in the cold, from what I understand. They deal with cold better than they deal with heat. So I'm going to use the layering method just in the coop over the winter. Other than that, this is just a simple sandbox, kitty litter box. I just sift it out, and it's clean as can be. There is no smell. All right, once a week for the sifting. Other than that, I pick up any leftover rinds of things that they left behind, and you know, I change out their water, check their food. Very simple. They're so easy to keep. They're so inexpensive. You know, Tractor Supply sells this coop. I paid about $400, I think, for the thing. I didn't know they used to sell them a lot cheaper, but times are tough right now, I guess. So Tractor Supply, I got a lot of this stuff at Tractor Supply, and then we have a local Agway for you know, hay and things like that. So there you go. So if you come over here, you can see underneath this little piece of plastic flashing, there is sensor number 2. That is outside the coop in the shade. And while I'm over here, I'll show you this. So you got this little latch down here. These chickens are so curious. You can open that up, and in here, these are your nesting boxes. And that is my inside the coop transmitter. That's number 1 down there. You can see I have that blocked off right now until they are of egg-laying age, because they're just going to get in there and mess it all up, and I don't want the problems. So once I actually switch this coop over to the layered method, I will put some straw in here, and then they can use it for laying. But that's got a nifty little latch that, you know, I know that raccoons are clever, but it'll take them a minute. So that's pretty cool. That's their little nesting boxes. And of course the third one of these is up here on the deck in the sunlight, when there is sunlight. Today it's cloudy. And then while I'm in watching TV, I can actually keep an eye on the temperatures. So right here is inside the house right now, where I'm sitting. Right here is inside the coop. It's 81.8 inside the actual little house. Okay, 66% humidity. Outside the coop in the shade, it's 84.5, and there's your humidity. And outside in the sun, it's 89 even. And that is because it's not sunny today. Normally that's way up there in the direct sunlight. So yeah, I can see all the coop temps and make sure the chickens are all right here from in the living room. And that's just a basic Amazon item. I'll put it in the description. All right, so one problem I have is that this is a side opening door. It opens to the side, doesn't open up and down. All right, so I wanted to put an automatic chicken coop door opener on this, and I studied them out and I was looking for the best, and I came up with the easiest idea. They had this type that you can just mount right here, and it's got this corkscrew type thing, and it'll close and open your door for you. Again, it was meant for the up and down style door, but it would work on this. And I thought about it, but I watch these videos where people complain that those things, they don't stop. And if your chicken is in there for any reason, gets caught, it's a guillotine. And I couldn't do that, so I couldn't take the chance. So here is what I came up with, and that is I simply used a chicken guard, one of the best, one of the highest rated, and rather than have it pull straight up on a door, I just put in a very simple pulley, and now it pulls my door sideways. Duh, so simple, right? But now, how do you close the door when it's time for it to close? Well, simple. I put a weight over there. Now that's a temporary weight. That was so I could get the weight. This pulls, it says it pulls 2 pounds. I know it'll pull more, but what I wanted was 2 pounds. So I measured out 2 pounds of sand in there to check it out, and it works. So I will swap that bucket out for an actual 2 pound tubular weight. So that'll look nice. It'll be in there. And then I can throw a nice white tube over and around that, cover it. And that'll be out of the way of everything. But these are nice little devices. They work using this little eye if you'd like. So it will open up at sunrise and close at sunset. And if you think it's open a little early, a little late, you can actually go in the settings. I'll just light this up. You can see it lights up. You can go into settings and you can adjust the lux settings, you know, say, you know, I want it to wait a little longer, you know, get a little brighter before it opens, or I want it to be a little darker before it closes. You can do all that. Or you could just set a timer, all right? You could set the time in here and say, I want this to open at 6 a.m., close at 8 p.m. I didn't do that because as the days get shorter, I didn't want to have to keep coming out here and reprogram it. So I'm actually using the light sensor, and I've done some other settings in here. I'll go more into detail about this unit in another video, but you can get this thing pretty much right on. Sun comes up. If you don't like it, you can add time. You can say sun up plus 15 minutes. Or you can change the lux from when it considers the sun to be up. One issue I did have with this is we had a dark, stormy day, kind of like what today's turning into, and it thought it was sunset, and so it triggered and closed my door early and my chickens were locked out. Luckily, I come out and I check them every night. I fixed that with programming. So anyway, it works pretty simple. It's currently considered up right now, or open, so all I would do is I can manually close it. Watch this. That's it. It just releases the string, and of course my counterweight just takes the door down, closes it up for me. All right, and if there was a chicken stuck in there, it's 2 pounds of weight. All right, so the chicken's not gonna get hurt. It's gonna be all right. All right, so I could adjust this a little. I gotta do an adjustment. You can adjust the open and close. All right, and sunrise, what's gonna happen? It's simply gonna pull that open. You can hear a little more under strain than it is when it's letting the door close. All right, there's my little weight going up. You can see I also added, these wheels did not come in the door. I put those on, because otherwise this door is just dragging on metal, and any sand or grit or granular stuff in there is gonna cause friction and cause it to consider it to be more weight. So that's working. I'm gonna just fine tune that a little, but it's really awesome. Again, I'll do another video of the actual detailed how to fine tune one of those things. And that's working great. So far, the chicken coop is simple. I'm digging it. I haven't had any issues, knock on wood. They love it. Oh, this is another thing I did. I got these little lights. I haven't mounted them yet. But these are just, you just solar lights. They charge up and they're motion detected. So if anything comes near the front of this thing, anywhere out here, or if anything comes near that side, anywhere, these things light up, pretty much scare it away. So very simple setup. Hopefully my setup has helped you. I put a lot of thought and study into it before I did it, and made sure they had a good home before I even put them out here, and I felt very good about it. I just put this up basically to keep the sand over here and to give them a perch. I am going to put a little ladder style perch here for them off of that. And I got some other things. This is the beginning. They're still young. They're only 3 months old. Still pretty big though. Still pretty big. Come here, Lucy. Yeah, good girl. Yeah, I know I robbed you. You thought I had some goodies. Huh. How you doing? Good? Yeah, I know you want to get up there. Come on. All right. Where you see it's netted, but it's not covered, that's where I'm going to have another little slanted roof, and that's going to be actually slanted this way, and that's going to have my solar panels on it. And this will have a few solar features on it, i.e. that door. It's currently battery powered with 6 batteries, 6 AAs, I think. Oh, no, 4 AA batteries. It comes with a connection for power from USB, so there's no reason I can't have that solar powered. I'm not going to probably do a heater of any sort in the coop unless it's an emergency, because from what I understand, you don't want to get your chickens reliant on heat, because they get reliant on it and then you have a power outage or you have a problem and they don't have it, and they're just not as resilient. So again, chickens can handle cold down to, you start getting below 10 degrees, maybe start thinking about doing something, but generally they're all right from what I gather. It's working. 3 months in. They went in at 6 weeks. They're 3 months old now. Everything seems to be just ducky. They love it. Let's talk about their food and supplies here for a minute. All right, so here's what I got. Here's what I started them with when they were chicks. First got this is what you're gonna want to feed them. 20% chick starter grower. All right, this is Do More Purina brand. All right, this is what it looks like. Very fine. All right, so I did that for the first 6 weeks while they were indoors. And then, of course, Independence Day came. And at 6 weeks, they go outside. At that point, you're going to introduce their main staple. All right. It's bigger. All right, and that's just your basic chicken grain right there. Not to be confused with your chicken scratch. All right, and a chicken scratch, that you just gotta throw that stuff around the yard and just let them peck around for that throughout the day. All right, your basic corns and seeds, grains, okay? And yeah, that just keeps them busy throughout the day. I like to throw that out in the sandy area. Okay, now what we got here, this is the ultimate, this is their absolute, as far as I've seen, favorite. I haven't found a single thing that they like more or go more crazy, and I will prove it to you. I'll show you. So yeah, this is your basic mealworms, dried out mealworms. These are not cheap. This was 30 some odd dollars for 5 pounds. All right, not cheap. In another video, I'm gonna show you how to grow your own. All right, but for now, that's what I started them out with when I first got them. I use this for treats and training only. That's it. All right, so there you go. So I am at the point now with these chickens at the age that they're at that I haven't gone straight over to this yet. What you want to do until they're at least 6 months old is mix these. Okay, you're weaning them off of this, so to speak. All right, so I'm just going to dump in a mix of these two foods for them right now. A little of that and a little of that, followed by a little of that. You see where I'm going with this, right? Till you're full. I'm actually going to give them a little extra of this just because of the density of the other one. And there you go. I'll mix that up in there. I'll give this a little spin to spread it out into the thing. And they're good to go. Okay, now about their water. Get some of this, all right? This is your probiotics, all right? Electrolytes, whatnot. And basically you get this and start it at, birth. As soon as you're giving them water, mix this in. It's 1 scoop. It's a little tiny scoop in here per gallon. All right, or whatever brand you get, make sure you read the directions. You're not going to hurt them. It's dried yogurt essentially. That's what it smells like. It smells sweet. But there's a little bag of this. I've been giving it to them since birth. They're 3 months old now, in their water, and that just keeps their bellies nice and their bellies. Well, it just keeps their insides, their innards, and their gizzards, and their crops, and it just keeps everything all nice. Especially, and again, this is gross, but we're talking chickens here, their butts, believe it or not. All right, this keeps things moving nice and fluidy, because what can happen is, especially as tiny chicks, they get pasty butt, it's called. Now, a lot of people call it different things, I've found. But if they get that, basically it's like dried poop all around their little chicken butt hole there, and there's no other nice way to say it. So what's going to happen is it's going to close up, basically, and they're not going to be able to poop, and that's going to cause them all kinds of problems. And you don't want that kind of problem with the little chicken. So do this, and do this till the bag's gone at least, 6 months. Let them get of age. I probably will continue with probiotics for them, forever. I don't see a problem with it. I don't see anything but benefit. I'll probably continue with the probiotics and whatnot in their water. Why not? Give them good water, right? So that's that. And I just keep that all in there, locked up tight in these little cases. Keep the little animals that don't belong in there out. And there you go. That's the food. It was all very cheap. These are 50-pound bags. I think they were like $6 for something, $8 for something. $6 for another one. Whatever it was super cheap, except for those mealworms. Those were not cheap. And just to prove the power of the mealworm, watch this. Let me do a mealworm eye view of the frenzy. Ready? There you go, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Love them. They love them. And actually, you can pick them up and eat them yourself if you want to, if you get really hungry. tastes like flavorless popcorn. Don't ask me how I know. So yeah, you tell me. So use those as treats and as training. You want to teach them how to jump up in your arm and in your hand. Let them see one of those sticking out of your fingers a couple times, and then they're just gonna always think you got them. Then it's gonna feel like they love you and everything. They don't. They just love food. But they like you, right? But now every time I show up, I'm their rooster, so to speak. That's a big joke we got going on. Every time I show up, they come running like this because they think I got worms, even when I don't. Many times I don't. Only 1 out of 10 times I might. Or if I'm trying to teach them how to play the xylophone or something, which they played today a little. Yeah. All right. That's hilarious to this day. I caught you looking in the mirror. So you can see it only took just a couple minutes. And it's like having one of them little Zen sandboxes. You know? Cleans right up. Real nice. In here, that's all sifted out now. It's all purdy. Fresh water with the additive. Okay, down here, it's all been done. Of course, they've already ransacked through it and dug all through it, but it's all nice and clean. So it's very easy to do. 20 minutes total. Food, water, clean it up, you know, and then, yeah, there's what I pulled out of here, a whole bunch more. So, but it's easy. And you know what? It looks nice back there like this. It doesn't look, you know, too farmy. I mean, you know, keeping it tight. Trying to keep everything tight here. And then at the end of it all, for enduring the sheer torture of me cleaning this place up, spotless. See, it's not hard, right? So I throw them a little chicken scratch out there. Look, everything's clean, rinsed down. Easy. You girls want a treat for being cool? Of course you do. There you go. Yep. They love the grapes. They're not sure about the cucumbers yet. They're new. I just introduced them yesterday, but yeah, they dig them. Their favorites as far as table scraps and stuff so far, tomatoes number 1. Watermelon. They love the watermelon. They will pick a watermelon right down to nothing but light green skin left. So they'll eat anything. I haven't put them on any meat. Just something. I don't want to taint their innocence. But yeah. But red things they seem to love, which is a little side note I'll put. If one of them gets a cut or something and bleeds, you're gonna wanna, there's a treatment you can get to spray. You spray on it, turns the blood blue. You wanna do that because chickens see that red. Chickens can see red, it's weird. And they will attack the wound and they will eat their fellow chicken. Or their, I don't know, what's the female version of a fellow? Anyway, they will do that bad stuff. So I don't want to see it happen, therefore, I just thought I'd throw that out there to you. And be careful of that. Things to watch out for. By the way, I mentioned the DE, so I mix that in all the sand, and every now and then I'll sprinkle some on top. The reason I do that is because that helps keep down mites and ticks and things. That dries those kind of critters up. I don't know how, but it just does. It dries them right up. So there you go. That's the tidbits I've learned so far. This is my coop situation. I'm digging it. I do gotta get a scraper out though and hit that roof right there. Yeah, a couple spots, right? Anyway, there you go. There's your treat, ladies. Enjoy, and hopefully this video helped some people figure some things out that I had to spend some time figuring out, and come up with something decent for themselves. So it's a nice little setup, solid. I sleep at night knowing that they're in there, they're good to go. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll do another chicken check-in maybe in another 3 months. They should start laying sometime. I'm thinking right about the beginning of November. problem is in the winter, chickens slow down the egg laying right down to a halt. So if I get any, it'll be a few, then the slowdown comes, and then in springtime I should start getting full production. About 280 eggs on average a year per chicken. It's a lot of eggs, and these are Leghorn chickens, so they lay those big huge white eggs. They're just known to be great egg layers. That's why I got them. Bought them pre-sexed, and I got Leghorns because I got them for the egg laying. So chickens are only $3.99 a piece pre-sexed. So, you know, I spent about $1,000 altogether for everything you see here. All their containers for food, the coop, the tents, the netting around the tents, the wood, probably $1,000. So, well, $16 worth of chickens. I spent $1,000. But, you know what? Eggs are, what, $5 a dozen now? 4 and change a dozen? Add it up. You know, but I didn't get them to pay me back or to save me money on eggs. I got them so I'd have eggs, just to have them, you know, and just something to do, you know, something fun, another little home experiment.